We're just going to throw it up towards the end zone, and Chester Rogers is caught by Eric Ebron and dropped. It was tipped up off the hands of a Ravens defender. Eric Ebron had 2 hands on it and he couldn't haul it in. Welcome back to another episode of the 2019 Colts franchise here on Madden 24, where we are coming off our first win of the season. Andrew Luck dragging us to victory with a performance good enough to win AFC Offensive Player of the Week. We should face a tougher test this week, though, as we take on the Ravens. Joe Flacco potentially going to start a quarterback, or they might go with the rookie Lamar Jackson. We're going to have to see when we get into the game. DeMarco Murray headlines a running back room that also contains Alex Collins and a young Gus Bus. The big man Patrick Ricard, of course, will be playing fullback. And then the receiver room contains the notoriously sorry receiver Michael Crabtree. John Brown, Willie Snead is there too. Ty Montgomery might see a handful of snaps as well. Mark Andrews is, of course, the biggest threat at tight end, but Hayden Hurst is there too. And the Ravens' strong offensive line will contain Ronnie Stanley. Jermaine Illuminor will fill in due to injury. Matt Skura at center, Marshall Yonder will play, and then rookie Orlando Brown at right tackle. Legendary T Sizzle will be accompanied by Brett Urban, Brandon Williams, and potentially Michael Pierce on the defensive line. Zadarius Smith will be rushing off the edge, while CJ Mosley will be the captain of this Ravens defense through the middle, and then a young Matt Judon will accompany Zadarius Smith trying to get to Andrew Luck. Another good young player in Marlon Humphrey will headline the cornerback room, whilst Eric Weddle and Tony Jefferson will play the primary safety positions. And it is week 3, so we do have our first mock draft of the season to look over. Kyler Murray does go at 1 here, as he did in real life, of course, but he's going to the Giants here rather than the Cardinals. Nick Bosa also going at 2, as he did in real life, but not to the 49ers, to the Denver Broncos instead. We are currently slated to be picking number 3 overall, and they have us taken Brian Burns. This is certainly a match in terms of player and team need, and certainly a player I would be willing to pick. But hopefully we're not picking as high as number 3 by the end of the season. Rashawn Gary is slated to go to the Commanders. Christian Wilkins to the Jets is an interesting fit, whilst Dexter Lawrence ends up with the Cardinals rather than Kyler Murray. TJ Hawkinson to the Bears at 7. Then Devin White to the Titans, Chris Lindstrom to the Dolphins, and Jonah Williams to the Texans rounds out the top 10. Ed Oliver to the Vikings at 12 would be a steal, but maybe not as much as Quinnen Williams to the Eagles at 15. Kind of reminiscent of the Jalen Carter pick in recent years, potentially. Montez Sweat to the Steelers at 16. Daniel Jones goes all the way at 17 to the Patriots, whilst Josh Allen also drops. The 49ers do get their edge rusher, but they get it much later in the draft in the form of Josh Allen rather than Nick Bosa. Dwayne Haskins ends up on the Saints. The Bears with a second first-round pick go with a tackle. And then Deebo Samuel ends up going to the Cincinnati Bengals at 26. This is more the match in terms of player and team fit and draft position that I would be hoping to make come the end of the season. Deebo Samuel, a player I'm very much interested in. 26, wouldn't mind picking in that particular position. Obviously, we're aiming to pick 32 because we're aiming to win the Super Bowl, but I certainly don't want to be picking at number 3. And then Rock Yassin, the player the Colts took in real life in the second round, actually ends up sneaking just into the first round, going to the Cowboys at 32. But without further ado, let's get suited up and ready to go as we take on the Ravens here in week 3. We are up in the booth for this one. Colts, Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium. As the Ravens take the kickoff, Chris Milton's going to have a chance to return here. A rare chance to return. And it's a fumble on the first play. Recovered by Baltimore. This is why I tend to take the touchback. We're 3 seconds into the game. And the ball has been turned over. Not a great start. So, 1st and 10 for the Ravens, already at the Colts 20. Check down from Lamar to Michael Crabtree in the flat, but it's incomplete. on the back foot early here in this one. Less than ideal. Shaq Leonard blocked out of the play. And we can't bring down the ball carrier. It's Alex Collins. An early touchdown here for the Ravens. An early turnover. And backed up by 6 points, soon to be 7. So no reason to panic just yet as Andrew Luck comes out onto the field for the first real drive of the game for the Colts. If we go down and score here, it's 7-7 and it's a new game. So no reason to panic just yet. We'll check down to Ebron on the left side of the formation. He's going to rumble forward for about 15. We're going to go back to Eric Ebron on this next play as well. So looking for Ebron on the left side of the field once more here, off play action. The Ravens send pressure, doesn't get home. Eric Ebron can't quite stay in bounds, but he does make a second consecutive catch, and already we're in Ravens territory. So 1st and 10 from the 43. We're going to go 3 straight passes to start the game. And it was almost 2 straight turnovers to start the game. A really bad pass from Andrew Luck. The Ravens unable to make it count, though. Unable to hold on. CJ Mosley, I think, potentially that was, with his hands on the ball for a moment. Good blocking from T.Y. down the field, and Nyheim Hines stays on his feet. Rumbles forward for 11 yards and a first down. And this is a good start from the Colts offense here. We're going to check down to Chester Rogers. He's going to have another first down. The Ravens just can't run with us at the moment. And we're going to go back to our favourite red zone play here out of the pistol. Chester Rogers converted the first down. Hopefully he's going to be converting the touchdown here. And I think we have him. We do have him. Does he have the speed to get to the end zone? He does. And we have tied it up. Pending the extra point anyway, we will tie it up. And it will be a new game here in Baltimore. So we'll get a second look at Lamar Jackson here. Going to have to be wary of the read option today, I would imagine. Doesn't look like we're going to have to be wary of the passing game, though. Ravens receivers unable to hold on to anything so far. And it's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 25 for the Ravens. It's going to be a run. Again, Alex Collins. And again, we can't even get hands on him. Alex Collins, 2 for 48 and a touchdown to start this game. We're going to have to do something about the run. Ravens already in Colts territory. A big game offensively so far. And that was a better job of stopping the run there. Quincy Wilson with a big tackle to hold it to just a 5-yard gain. And it's going to be 2nd and 5 from the 42 for the Ravens now. Nice play over the middle. Lamar Jackson just can't find his receivers. 0 for 3 to start the game. George Odom in coverage there. And that's going to allow us to go man coverage here on 3rd down. We're going to keep an eye on Lamar Jackson with Anthony Walker. And it is a first conversion of the game. And what a horrible tackle attempt from Clayton Geathers. Terrible pursuit angle there. Michael Crabtree skips past him for 41 yards. And the Ravens are down to the 1-yard line. An explosive start from both offenses here. Darius Leonard, it was preventing the touchdown. But we're going to do well to prevent the Ravens from scoring here. On 1st and goal from the 1. We're going to commit to the run. And we force them back, I think, to about the 3-yard line. Zaire Franklin injured on the play, though. So the Ravens will try again from the 3-yard line. So Marco Murray in the backfield. It is going to be a run. And Anthony Walker is going to be all over it. We shot that gap. Blew it up in the backfield. It's a 2nd consecutive tackle for loss. We could have done with one of those last week for Anthony Walker. And it's going to be a 3rd and goal from the 5 now for the Ravens. 2 big stops on the previous 2 downs. And Lamar Jackson's going to scramble. Can we get there? No, we can't. We absolutely obliterate Lamar in the air. But he had already crossed the plane. And it's going to be 14-7 Ravens here early. So a high-scoring game here. Barely over 5 minutes gone. And already 3 touchdowns in the game. Nyheim Hines rushes for about 9. Little more, 2nd in inches. And we're going to try play action here on 2nd down. We're going to be looking for T.Y. Hilton down the field. That option is taken away. We do have Mo Alley Cox, though, who takes in the grab. to bring us to midfield. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from the Ravens 50. We do have Chester Rogers up the middle. Again, it's not an ideal throw from Andrew Luck. We led him a little too far inside there. And we will try and run the ball here on 1st and 10. Block shaping up well out to the left-hand side. T.Y. Hilton again with a spectacular effort blocking down the field. It's not really his game, but he's been reliable in that aspect so far this season. And that will just allow us to go back to Marlon Mack here on 2nd and 2. Again, good blocking up front. Nyheim Hines this time contributing. Hines in the fullback role on that particular play, and Matt gets another 1st down. We're going to stick with the run whilst it's working for us. No Quentin Nelson, of course, on the left side of that formation for us today. And this one's blown up in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 2. Planning to run a screen here on 2nd down, but I don't like it out to that right side. So again, we're going to run the ball. And again, it's blown up. Just a 2-yard gain from Nyheim Hines there, which brings up a 3rd and 10 that we're going to do well to convert. We're actually going out the strong I formation here. And there's very little on. We're just going to have to check down. Pass is incomplete. Eric Ebron couldn't haul it in. And we're going to have to kick a field goal. Really going to have to try and find a way to slow down this Ravens attack, particularly their rushing attack. It's going to be another run here. And again, it's going to be Clayton Geathers rather, completely whiffing on the tackle. Pierre Desir saves a touchdown. Catches up with DeMarco Murray, but not before he has stampeded his way down into Colts territory. Clayton Geathers has missed 2 big tackles so far, and it's really cost us. DeMarco Murray all the way down to about the 13-yard line. They actually spot it at the 15. Absolutely horrific start to this game for our rush defense, and in particular for Clayton Geathers. It's going to be another run, this time out to the right-hand side of the defense, out to the Ravens' left. This one is blown up, a 3-yard loss, which brings up a 2nd and 13. Ravens running out of empty here on 2nd down. And a check down in the flat, complete to Michael Crabtree, brings up a 3rd and 9. And if Clayton Geathers can't tackle, there's no point keeping him back in coverage. We're going to send him on a blitz here off that left-hand side of the formation. It's a zig route that's completely done us there. The middle opens up. Again, we absolutely annihilate Lamar Jackson. But again, he's dived forward into the end zone first. 2nd rushing touchdown of the game for Lamar Jackson. I thought we had covered that fairly well, but the middle of the field just opened up completely, and we just cannot find a way to stop Lamar here early. It's going to be a 21-10 lead for the Ravens, and we haven't even left the 1st quarter. So really less than ideal start here. The Ravens absolutely lighting us up on the ground. Again, we find Ebron underneath. Again, Ebron rumbles forward for about 15, maybe a little more. And Andrew Luck has started this game very well. It's a shame our defense hasn't been able to match it. So 1st and 10 from about the 41 here. Going to try and hit Jack Doyle on the quick out, and we do manage to find him. 2nd and 2. And again, we're going to go play action here on 2nd and 2. I think the Ravens are sending heat, so we're going to need to get the ball out quickly. We got it out far too quickly. I panicked. Ravens did send pressure off that right side. I thought they were going to get through, but Nyheim Hines did well to pick up the block. I'd already thrown the ball away. 3rd and 2. Going to try read option here on 3rd and 2. The Ravens crash down, and Andrew Luck just about has the speed to get to the outside. Beats Darius Smith there. 7 yards for the 1st down. I'm going to try and hit Nyheim Hines on the right side here for a screen. The Ravens cover it well. Nyheim Hines just about does manage to get out into space, and there was plenty of it for him once he did manage to get there. A little bit of confusion at the line of scrimmage means we need to take a timeout here, so the clock has stopped. 17 seconds left to go in this 1st quarter, and Nyheim Hines squeezes through for a single yards, which does bring us into the 2nd quarter here. 2nd and 9 from the Ravens 22. We're going to swing Nyheim Hines out to the right. And we're going to find him here on the check down. Plenty of space for Nyheim Hines to work once more. Dukes out one man. Can't duke out the second. But it is down for another first down here. The Ravens not covering the flats particularly well today. And for the third time today, we are down in Ravens territory, deep in the red zone. Chester Rogers underneath. It's a good catch, but he's hit immediately. And it's going to be a 2nd and 7 here. Looking for T.Y. Hilton in the back corner of the end zone. And it's actually picked off. How is that picked off? Eric Weddle comes down with the ball. That was fairly well covered. But I did not think that would be an interception. I thought potentially it would be incomplete at the very worst. Andrew Luck laying it up high for T.Y. Hilton. There were so many bodies in there. I thought surely at the very worst the ball would bounce off T.Y.'s hands, off Eric Weddle. Looked like it hit a shoulder in there. But Eric Weddle manages to bring it down. And it's a 2nd turnover of the game here for the Colts. And we've gifted the Ravens the ball twice. Once from the kickoff, once in their red zone. Clayton Geathers again in the area, but can't make a tackle. It's going to be Matthew Adams who does. And we have really shot ourselves in the foot a number of times early in this game. The Ravens have run all over us, but we haven't made it easy on ourselves. Again, a big hole opened up there. Malik Hooker shows his fellow safety exactly how a tackle is supposed to be made. And it's going to be a 3rd and 4 here for the Ravens. Can we get our first stop of the game? It's a draw play. And it's another tackle made, but not before DeMarco Murray can convert for another first down here for the Ravens. Darius Leonard it was making the tackle. So 1st and 10 for the Ravens, changing the play at the line of scrimmage, but we will stick in the defensive coverage that we were in, and it's going to be a pick. It's going to be a pick for Pierre Desir. He gets the ball back for the Colts. Picks on back-to-back drives. First for the Colts, then for the Ravens. And it's Pierre Desir with his first interception of the season. Lamar just trying to find, I think maybe that's Hayden Hurst underneath. It's not, it's Willie Snead. And instead he finds the hands of Pierre Desir. Andrew Luck bailed out by his defense for the first time today. And we are going to have another chance to score here in the 2nd quarter. Big tackle. Matthew Judon it was. Coming with the pressure. It's going to be a 1-yard loss. Ravens already approaching 150 rushing yards in the game. It's been an absolutely dominant performance for them on the ground so far. Nyheim Hines having a big game as well, though. Another catch there. 3 for 37. And it brings us to a more manageable 3rd and 5. So we were approaching field goal territory. Very much 4 down territory. But a false start sent us back 5 yards, and we're at 3rd and 10 now, just trying to convert. Another screen works out well. Nyheim Hines just needs to get the first down, and he hasn't. We just needed Nyheim Hines to run forward there. Instead, he's trying to make a man miss, and it's 4th and inches. I think we do have to go for it, though, so we're going to line up to run the ball here on 4th and inches. We're at the Ravens 33. We could kick a field goal, but we are down 8 points. Marlon Mack just about manages to squeeze through for the first down. We're down 11 points. I didn't mean to say 8 there. I meant 11. And we're going to run the ball here again on 1st and 10. Marlon Mack again going to get the ball. Big block by Joe Haig. Filling in for Quentin Nelson today. Doing a decent job of it so far. We're going to run the ball again here on 2nd down. Again, it's good blocking. Couldn't quite get up to the 2nd level, though. But Marlon Mack again does convert for the first down. And we are back into Ravens territory. Keep saying territory when I'm meaning to say red zone. We are back in the Ravens red zone. We've been in their territory for quite some time. Going to roll out to the right here, and we've got Chester Rogers. Can Andrew Luck find him? Yes, he can. And Chester Rogers can take it in for the touchdown. That's a play that we like to run in the red zone. Out of the strong eye, Andrew Luck rolling out to the right-hand side. And Chester Rogers always runs a really clean route off that play. And he's always open in the flat, and he is again there. So it's going to be 21-17 Ravens. We could have gone for 2 there and potentially made it just a field goal game. However, I do like going for 1 there, because if we can hold the Ravens to just a field goal, then we can tie the game with a touchdown with just a single point, with just a point after try. Whereas if we go for 2 there and we miss it, then we are down 5, and it's more difficult going forward. It's still early in the game here. Too early, I think, to be going for 2 in that particular scenario. If it was later in the game, then obviously we would be trying to get it back to just a field goal. But there's still enough time in the game to be thinking about multiple drives ahead, rather than just what can we make the score on in this particular situation, basically. So it's going to be a 2nd and 2 for the Ravens here as they approach midfield. It's been a back and forth game for these two offenses. Lamar Jackson keeps it. Dangerous throw over the middle of the field there. Just lofted enough over Malik Hooker's head, though. And it is caught by Michael Crabtree for a first down. Ravens changing the play at the line of scrimmage. We're doing the same. It's a quick pass out to the flat by Lamar, but incomplete. It's not been the best performance from Lamar so far. He's been fairly terrible in the air. And he hasn't kept the ball too often on first down, but he has... Well, he hasn't kept the ball on the read option too often so far today, but he has there, and he's rushed to take the Ravens over 150 yards rushing here in the first half. And it's another first down for the Ravens. Quincy Wilson's going to have to make a play here. Coverage down the field just tight enough to prevent the completion. But it's going to be another injury. Danico Autry now running out to the locker room. Darius Leonard did return, as did Zaire Franklin. But it looks like Danico Autry might not be able to. Lamar Jackson hands it off this time. Yet again, Clayton Geathers whiffs on the tackle. That's 3 times today Clayton Geathers has stepped up. He's been the man to face down the running back in the hole. And on all 3 occasions, he's whiffed. I'm actually going to bring Clayton Geathers out for George Odom. He's been too bad today to keep his place in the second half. It's going to be another touchdown. What a move that is. He tried to lay the hit stick on Montgomery, but he saw it coming. He juked inside. It's going to be another touchdown here for the Ravens. We can't do anything to stop their offense at the moment. Really nice play. I thought potentially we could lay the woods here with Pierre Desir. Lovely little juke move inside, though. And it is a dislocated shoulder for Danico Autry. He's not going to be back today. It's going to be Tyquan Lewis to come in and take his place. So it's going to be something of a 4-minute drive here. 3 minutes and 9 left on the clock. And we're going to try and while away as much of that as we can and finish the first half by getting on the board. We are kicking to the Ravens in the second half, so it's imperative that we get a score here. So 2.5 minutes to go now. Marlon Mack getting close to the second, to the first down there, rather. And we are going to snap the ball before the 2-minute warning here. Looking in the flat for Eric Ebron. Andrew Luck finds him. It's going to take it down to the 2-minute warning. Ravens seem to be backing off a decent amount here, letting us run the ball. So we will do exactly that and get the clock moving again. Naheem Hines takes it forward for 3 yards. And we'll see what we can do here on this 2nd and 7. We can find Chester Rogers underneath. He makes a big catch. It's going to be a 3rd and 4 as we approach midfield. And we're going to run a screen play here to Marlon Mack. No need to take a timeout just yet, but we will be thinking about timeouts fairly soon. Marlon Mack somehow gets away. Is he going to have enough to get the touchdown? He is. And Marlon Mack somehow into the Ravens end zone. The screenplay works brilliantly. Initially, it looked like we were only going to get 4 or 5. But the blocks held up. Marlon Mack somehow managed to stay on his feet through contact. We did have blockers out in front there. Joe Haig, Anthony Costanzo, Ryan Kelly out there as well. And Marlon Mack somehow managed to stay on his feet. And although we've only used up 2 of those 3 minutes, would have been nice to use up a couple more. I'm certainly not going to complain. We needed a touchdown. We got a touchdown. And if we can hold the Ravens here, hopefully it's going to be 28-24 as we go into the half. And I probably should have gone for 2 there. I didn't really think about it. The option that I was given was to just go for 1. And I just clicked straight on it and I kicked it. And I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have gone for 2 there. So just trying to prevent the Ravens from scoring here. We absolutely have to hold them to 3, but ideally we will hold them to even less than that. It's going to be a 2nd and 5 here, though. The Ravens moving the ball early on this final drive of the game. What you imagine surely is going to be the final drive of the game. And what a tackle that is. Jabal Sheard off the left-hand side. Lamar Jackson was scrambling. Squeezed up to the 2nd level through the middle of the pocket there. But Jabal Sheard had it covered all the way. It's going to be a timeout for the Ravens. 3rd and 7. So 3rd and 7 for the Ravens here. As they approach midfield. Big catch from Michael Crabtree. And Clayton Geathers finally makes a tackle. Did really well to hold on through contact there, Crabtree. I thought we were going to get the stop we needed. But instead... And we've got a man across the formation there, completely out of his zone. Unfortunately, it doesn't come back to bite us. So instead, it's going to be the Ravens with a 2nd and 10 from the 16-yard line here. Trying to get into field goal range. They check it down. Awful, awful tackle from Darius Leonard there. That was my fault that time. So we're going to take a timeout for the Ravens there. Allow them to attempt the field goal to end the first half here. And it's actually missed. Wide left. Justin Tucker misses it. And it is going to be 28-24 at the half. I'm actually tempted to throw a Hail Mary here. There is a 2nd left on the clock. We are around midfield. Andrew Luck should have the arm to get it to the end zone. And it really wouldn't hurt us at all if he ended up throwing an interception. So we're just going to throw it up towards the end zone. And Chester Rogers is caught by Eric Ebron and dropped. It was tipped up off the hands of a Ravens defender. Eric Ebron had 2 hands on it and he couldn't haul it in. The end zone was there. Wide open, waiting for him, waiting to greet him, waiting to welcome him. And he put the ball on the ground. Unbelievable. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory Career Mode. If you're enjoying the video, please take a second to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. There's going to be plenty more realistic content like this to come in 2024, and every little bit of engagement helps to grow the channel and bring these videos to more and more viewers. Drop a comment too, let me know what you thought of today's game, who our man of the match was, or really just any feedback you have about the series. I always love to hear from you guys, and I've got some great ideas about how to get you more involved going forward. But that's enough rambling from me. Let's get back to the action. So a very high scoring game in this one so far. We have adjusted our game plan to stop the run. And that's a big hit from Clayton Geathers. Finally, he lays the wood. And we're aiming to stop the inside run in particular. So hopefully you have a bit more success against this Raven attack here in the second half. Lamar Jackson somehow manages to get 4 out of that. It's one of the better 4-yard runs I've ever seen. And it's going to bring up a 2nd and 6 for the Ravens here. Lamar hands it off this time. DeMarco Murray, at about 10 yards of carry so far, takes it forward for another first down. I think we might adjust who we use now as well. I think we're going to go to the safety on most plays from now on. Kimoko Ture, now the injured Colt. He's also going to head to the locker room by the looks of it. We could do without losing him. So it's going to be a 2nd and 9 here for the Ravens around midfield. Check down to the tight end, which will bring up a 3rd and 4 here for the Ravens. And it's thrown right at Kenny Moore. Bounces off his hands, incomplete. Looks like we get a stop here. Unsure what the Ravens are going to do in this particular situation, as Kimoko Ture has torn his labrum, is going to be out for the game. The substitute is Darius Leonard, but we're going to have to make a change there, because we certainly don't want Darius Leonard rushing off the edge. And the Ravens are going for it. It's a 4th and 4 here for the Ravens. And they're going to... I was ready to say they're going to convert. The ball hit Mark Andrews in the hands. The next thing it hit was the ground. And we somehow come up with a stop there. We could have had an interception on the previous play, but Kenny Moore couldn't bring it in. Mark Andrews couldn't bring it in that time. And somehow we are still alive here. And we're going to go back to the script that we ran at the beginning of the first half. Here with our first drive in the third. And Dontrell Inman catches the ball and rumbles down the field. That is a huge game for Dontrell Inman. And we're going to go back to the same play that we ran immediately after. Looking for Eric Ebron running across the field. I think we're going to have him in behind. We do. This could be a touchdown. Eric Ebron brings it in and rumbles into the end zone. It's a touchdown, Colts. 2 plays is all it took. We finally got a stop here in the third quarter. And 2 plays later, we're back in the Ravens end zone. And we get our first lead of the game. So we finally have a stop in the game. A second stop here would be ideal, as the Ravens come out to begin another drive. Lamar Jackson, though, sells us on the play action. And it's a big gain to begin the drive. Just 15 of 24 today, Lamar Jackson. But the Ravens have already rushed for about 200 yards. And that's the problem with committing to the run. The Ravens can just go to the pass here in the second half, and particularly the play action pass. And there's not too much we can do to stop it, to be fair. Could be an offside there. He's very close to the line of scrimmage. And DeMarco Murray absolutely carves his way up through the middle of our defense. There's nothing we can do here to slow down this Ravens rushing attack. We might just have to commit to the run at some point here. But that would be absolutely disastrous if the Ravens do throw the ball. Zaire Franklin with the tackle for loss there. Lamar Jackson loses 2. I think we might basically just have to sit in this 4-6 bear formation, designed to stop the run for the remainder of the game. It's going to be a 2nd and 17 here for the Ravens after a false start. And that should be a sack for Jabal Sheard. And he whiffs. He had Lamar Jackson in the backfield. Somehow, Lamar Jackson managed to squirm away from him. And they've actually spotted them with a first down. Lamar Jackson looks short there to me. Instead, it's going to be a 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Lamar Jackson hands off to DeMarco Murray. There's nothing there this time. And it's going to be 2nd and 11 here for the Ravens. Going to send Darius Leonard on the blitz. Forces the ball out quickly. Jackson misses his man. And it's going to be a 3rd and 11 here. Doesn't look like we're going to hold the Ravens to 0 points, but we could potentially hold them to only a field goal. Lamar Jackson's going to step up. We force him out wide, and we do force him to the ground. Quincy Wilson was there. Kenny Moore as well. We actually dropped back into coverage of Grover Stewart from the line. Didn't really intend to do that, but it worked out well for us. And Grover Stewart it was with the last contact on Lamar Jackson there, and we will hold them to 3. So, fresh set of downs to begin the drive here in the 3rd quarter. Going to try and hit Marlon Mack there. He does well to bring it in before contact. Really haven't managed to find Tilway Hilton almost at all in the game today. We're going to look for him down the field a little more here as we approach the end of the game, but there's really been very little on for him. And that's picked off. How is that picked off? How is that picked off? I wasn't even trying to force TY the ball. He was just open. I think I just threw it a split second too late. And Andrew Luck's throwing his 2nd interception of the game. CJ Mosley picking it off. T.Y. Hilton was open. CJ Mosley just broke on it, and it was a split second too late getting out. We're trying our best to throw this game away. We've had very few answers for the Ravens on defense, and we've shot ourselves in the foot a number of times on offense. Margus Hunt now, the injured Colt. So 1st and 10 for the Ravens here, already approaching our end zone. Oh, what a play that is. Willie Snead down the field. Beautiful throw from Lamar Jackson. Just dropped it in the bucket for Willie Snead to run underneath. Margus Hunt can continue. We'll bring him out for now, but he will be back in the game before too long. But in the meantime, it's going to be a 1st and goal here for the Ravens. Somehow I missed the tackle. Somehow I missed the tackle with, I think, Pierre Desir. Thankfully, Darius Leonard was there to bail me out. We're going to commit to the run here. Got no chance of stopping it otherwise. If the Ravens pass, it's going to be a touchdown, but they don't. They do try and rush for the touchdown, but it's a big stop. Looks like Anthony Walker was there to make the tackle. Kind of hoping they run again. They don't. Well, they may well run, but not out of goal line at the very least. And I might try and gamble here. I'm going to send the linebackers. Going to rely on the safeties to cover here. And it does pay off. Another injury, but Darius Leonard gets in for almost a sack. Lamar Jackson does get the ball off. And the Ravens are going to go for it here on 4th down. We stopped them the previous time they tried the 4th down conversion, and we're going to stop them again here. Clayton Geathers makes a tackle. He's whiffed on about 3 so far today, but that's the biggest one that he could have made, and he did make it for the 2nd time in this game. We have prevented the Ravens from converting on 4th down. We're deep in our own territory, inside the 5. But we are going to get the ball back. The Ravens aren't going to put any additional points on the board. So an illegal block in the back brings back the gain. But it's going to be a 2nd and 8 here from about the 4-yard line. Marlon Mack just runs into bodies. There's nothing there for him. And I think we're going to look for Nyheim Hines on a screen here. It's a bit of a risky play call, but I'm hoping the Ravens will send pressure and we'll be able to get Nyheim Hines out behind. And instead he's caught up. He's caught up at the line of scrimmage. There was space for Nyheim Hines if he could have got the ball, but so we do end up having to punt. And it's going to be the Ravens at midfield. Handed off to DeMarco Murray. We've done a better job of stopping the run here in the 2nd half. Still not a good job, I wouldn't say, but a better job than we did in the 1st. And we'll try and do just as good a job here on 2nd and 11. It's going to be Lamar Jackson to keep it this time, and he runs into trouble. Taekwon Lewis there this time, and it's going to be another tackle for loss. Brings up a 3rd and 12. Ravens are going to run out of empty. We're going to commit to the pass and run man coverage. Lamar Jackson holding on to the ball for far too long. Checks it down to Mark Andrews in the end, and it's a big tackle for Pierre Desir. It's going to be a 4th and 9 from the 46. It's in Colts territory, but you would imagine... I was going to say you would imagine the Ravens are going to punt. But they're actually lining up to go for a field goal. This is incredibly deep, even for Justin Tucker. We know he's got the range. We know he's one of the best kickers of all time, but surely he can't make this. And he does. What a kick. What a kick from Justin Tucker. Just sneaks it over the crossbar there. Not sure of the distance on that. It's going to be a 63-yarder. Not quite a record there for Justin Tucker, but awfully close. So 1st and 10 here as we approach the final quarter of the game. Dontre Liman can't pull it in. Incompletion. It's going to be 2nd and 10. I'm going to try and hit T.Y. Hilton down the field for the first time. Ravens are pressing us at the line of scrimmage. We're actually going to go out to the right side in search of Dontre Liman on back-to-back plays, but it's going to be back-to-back incompletions. 3rd and 10 now. And the screens have been working fairly well for us this season, so we're going to try again here to find Nyheim Hines. An absolutely unbelievable block. Absolutely murdered a man downfield there. I'm not sure who that was. Absolutely pancaking the Ravens, I think, safety. Looks like maybe it was Eric Weddle who was blown up there. And it's going to be Ryan Kelly absolutely laying the wood. We need another look at that one. Ryan Kelly snaps the ball, rolls out to the left-hand side, looks for his target. Boom! Absolutely blows him up. So a big, big conversion there takes us into the 4th quarter. Big block there from, I think, Zach Pascal. Coming from his position on the left-hand side of the formation there to make the block. And we're going to run the ball here on 2nd and 5. Good blocking from Jack Doyle allows Marlon Mack to get up to the 2nd level. Converts for a 1st down. And we're going to try play action here on 1st down. I don't think the Ravens are going to be expecting it. Not too much on for us. And how is that picked off? How is that picked off? 3rd interception of the game for Andrew Luck. Maybe I should have just thrown it away. But we had multiple receivers over on the left-hand side there. Jack Doyle running across the formation. I mean, I have thrown it across the field, but we've got 2 Colts players in the area. One of whom is Mo Ali Cox, who's like 9 feet tall. The other is Jack Doyle, and yet it's Eric Weddle who comes down with the ball. A 3-interception game from Andrew Luck. And we, again, gift the Ravens an opportunity to win this game. They have a 3-point lead. We were moving the ball there. And yet, we throw yet another interception. And it's going to be the Ravens with the ball here in the 4th quarter. Lamar Jackson converting for a 1st down. And I've got a feeling they're just going to run the game away here. So 1st and 10 for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson somehow converts. Michael Crabtree lurking in behind the linebackers there. And it's going to be another 1st down for the Ravens. We need the ball back. DeMarco Murray with the ball on the right-hand side here. He gets another 4. I mean, it feels like we're in a worse position than we are in. Obviously, the game is still very much within reach. If we can hold the Ravens to a field goal here, they would only be up 6. You would imagine they would likely go for it in the vast majority of scenarios. But, I mean, if we can get them into a 4th and long, potentially they'd be happy enough to kick the field goal, knowing that we would then need a touchdown. I mean, it doesn't look like we're going to have any way of stopping them from getting into the end zone, though. They are running all over us here. And we're going to bail out of this into something a little safer. Darius Leonard with the hit. Montgomery spins off the tackle. It's going to be another first down. And I've got no idea how we're going to stop the Ravens from getting into the end zone. They motion a man across the field. Hayden Hurst it is. Anthony Walker's there. It's going to be a throw from Lamar Jackson, though. Dropped in the back of the end zone from Mark Andrews. Pierre Desir having a big game. He was there to force the breakup. And I think we're going to have to be wary of a Lamar Jackson keeper here. They are running out of empty. And Jackson does just check it down. And again, I think we're going to have to be wary of Lamar Jackson keeping the ball here on third down. Instead, he throws it to a wide open Mark Andrews. I think there was some confusion in the zone assignments there. We had a player on one side of the formation. His zone was on the opposite side. I don't think everybody was lined up as they should have been there. And Lamar Jackson makes us pay. I think it's Darius Leonard who should have been on Mark Andrews. And it's going to be a touchdown Ravens. It's going to be a 2-score game. So the game's certainly still not out of reach, but it's not looking good here by any means. Check down to Nyheim Hines. He picks up 5. So it's going to be a 2nd and 5 here. Eric Ebron can't get open. I'm not sure what buttons we had down the field there. We had players open. T.Y. Hilton was in so much space, but I couldn't remember what button he was, so I couldn't risk just pressing a button and throwing another interception. I think he was probably X. He usually is. But we couldn't risk it. It's going to be a 3rd and 2. We're going to try and pick it up on the ground. Decent enough blocking up front allows Marlon Mack to squeeze through the hole. And I'm not sure T.Y. Hilton has had a catch today. I can't remember one. As Marlon Mack is tackled by Michael Pierce for a 3-yard loss. So 2nd and 13 here. We're going to try and hit Nyheim Hines out of the backfield. Andrew Luck can't find him. It's an inaccurate pass. And it's going to be a 3rd and 13 with the game on the line. Just going to have to run a screen to Nyheim Hines. And see what we can get back. Give ourselves a decision to make on 4th down. I mean, there's no real decision to make here. We pretty much have to go for it, but it's less than ideal. It's going to be a 4th and 8. So we're actually forced to take a timeout just to make sure we get into the right play here. Game very much on the line. Andrew Luck downfield. Could be a 3rd interception of the game for Eric Weddle. And Chester Rogers makes the catch. That might be the most unbelievable play I've ever seen. I can barely even speak. What a catch from Chester Rogers. And he has kept us alive there. The ball rolling over itself as Andrew Luck is hit while he threw. Eric Weddle underneath it, trying to get his 3rd interception of the game, and Chester Rogers said no. No, not today, my friend. And it's going to be a 1st and 10 here on the Ravens' 28-yard line. We are still in this game somehow, thanks to Chester Rogers. Zach Pascal with the catch this time. It's going to be a 2nd and 5. We are running a little low on time now, so we're going to have to speed things up just a little bit. We have taken 1 timeout already, so we just have the 2 to work with. T.Y. Hilton. Ball knocked away by C.J. Mosley. So we are going to run the ball with Nyheim Hines here. We do need a field goal at some point if we are going to tie this game up. And we're going to go for it here. It's going to be a 4th and 4. It's not ideal. We potentially should have been a bit more aggressive there. But at least now we know what we need. We have the field goal. We need, firstly, a Raven stop. A stop against the Ravens offense. We need, secondly, a touchdown. And we can then make the decision about whether we want to tie it up and go for overtime, or whether we want to try the 2-point conversion there and then and try and win the game. None of that matters if we can't get the stop here, though. Absolutely imperative that we prevent the Baltimore Ravens from picking up first downs. And DeMarco Murray's going to have a big one, and he's going to have a touchdown. Never mind. Never mind. Forget I said anything. It's going to be a 1-play touchdown. DeMarco Murray I think is going to have close to 200 yards on the day. I think the Ravens are going to have close to 300 yards rushing. And we just didn't have the speed to catch him. So 1st and 10. No idea what we do at this stage of the game. We hit Chester Rogers. He's the only one that's really been able to get anything going for us today. And then we run play action here on 2nd down. Try and hit T.Y. Hilton for the first time today down the field, potentially. Gonna have to get rid of it. We can't. Andrew Luck sacked. Zadarius Smith. And that's probably going to be the game. So 3rd and 14. We're running a screen to Marlon Mack. There are blockers out there. One of whom is Mark Lewinsky. Can't get the conversion though. It's going to be 4th and 8. We have to go for it. So the game is on the line here. T.Y. Hilton is 1-on-1 on the left-hand side of the formation with just one safety deep. So T.Y. can win off the line. I like our chances of hitting him. T.Y. can't. What a pass that is from Andrew Luck though. We're going to rush to the line of scrimmage. I think it was Chester Rogers yet again. Making a big catch there. And we're going to have to hurry up about it here. Dontrell Inman makes the break. Andrew Luck finds him. We're going to take our 2nd timeout of the 2nd half. 1:27. 1 timeout remaining. Down 2 touchdowns. So 1st and 10. Really not very much on for us here. We're just going to throw the ball away. So 2nd and 10. T.Y. Hilton's going to be open here on the out route. Does he get out of bounds and stop the clock? I think he does. And it's going to be a 1st and 10 here inside the Ravens red zone. Could be looking for Chester Rogers. Not a lot on. Andrew Luck's just going to rush forwards. 4 yards. We do have a timeout here, but we need 2 touchdowns to get back in the game. Let's see what we can do here on 2nd down. We're flushed out to the right. Potentially we had a receiver in the back of the end zone there, but instead Andrew Luck throws it away to bring up a 3rd and 6. So a 3rd and 6, 1:04 remaining. The clock, however, has stopped. We have a receiver over the middle and Andrew Luck. Not even in the same vicinity. Not even in the same postcode. So it looks like this is going to be the game. A minute left. A 4th and 6. The game on the line. We're going to look. And there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Very well covered by the Ravens. Nobody was open. Tried to roll out with Andrew Luck and throw the ball back across the formation, but nothing on. Ravens are going to win. It's been an absolutely dominant display by the Ravens on the ground today. Anthony Walker gets there to stem the tide of embarrassment somewhat. And they will snap the ball once more. But the clock will run out. And the Ravens will run out. 48-34 winners here in Baltimore. Just couldn't do anything to stop the run. I dread to think how many yards the Ravens rushed for today. I almost don't want to look. We had a relatively good offensive display. Aside from Andrew Luck's 3 interceptions. At least 2 of them were bad. They were bad. And so the Ravens had the lead from really the very beginning of the game. We gifted them the ball with a fumble off the kickoff. And we couldn't get back into it really meaningfully after that. So the Ravens rush of 577 yards of total offense. 328 of which were on the ground. That's absolutely unreal. Andrew Luck had a big day. If you take out 2 of those interceptions, it's an incredible day for Andrew Luck. 31 of 47 for 465 and 4 touchdowns. The 3 interceptions really put a dampener on the day, though. Marlon Mack went 13 for 42, just 3.2 yards a carry for Mack. No touchdowns. Nyheim Hines, a little bit better, 4.8 yards per carry on 7 carries. No touchdowns either, though. Chester Rogers had a a massive day. 9 for 137 and 2 touchdowns. He was probably our best player today, you would say. Pierre Desir defensively, but Chester Rogers certainly offensively. Nyheim Hines did well out of the backfield as well. 7 for 72. Ebron caught a touchdown and went for 81 yards. T.Y. Hilton did have a catch, but he was held to just the single catch for 17 yards on the day. Malik Hooker had 10 tackles, as did Anthony Walker. Clayton Gether somehow had 8 tackles. I'm not sure if we can see how many tackles he missed here, but it was several. 4 tackles for loss for Jabal Sheard, couple for Tyquan Lewis and Zaire Franklin, as well as Anthony Walker. Just the 1 sack today for Jabal Sheard. 1 pick as well for Pierre Desir. No fumbles forced, no defensive touchdowns. So a really disappointing loss to the Ravens, and our disappointment continues as we see that Kamoko Toure is going to be out for 5 weeks with that torn labrum. So Quentin Nelson and Kamoko Toure, big pieces, one on offense, one on defense, that we're going to be without for the next 5 games. Which brings us into week 4 and a matchup against the LA Rams. So things not getting any easier here in season 1 of the 2019 Colts franchise. We're 1-2. Fortunately, the entire division is 1-2. So somehow, despite our disappointing start to the season, we do sit atop the AFC South. So we'll try and bounce back with a win next week against the LA Rams in Indy. We'll look forward to that in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.